When I originally fitted these take-up bearings onto the locomotive, I realized that the grease nipple for greasing these was here in the bottom of the bearing. I've blanked that off, being in the bottom. I realized that it was very vulnerable if I had a derailment, with it being at the bottom here. As you can see, it was going to get sheared off. So I modified it and put it up here, which actually turned out not to be a very good idea either, because it was the running plates over the top of it. I couldn't get the grease gun onto it. It was too narrow here, so the grease gun nipple couldn't get on. So now I've got them off. I've made this, which is a modification, and it's put it up at changed it to a right angle. Means that the grease gun can get on it. It's got a little bit of shielding here. I mean, it could get wiped off, but I think it's highly unlikely. We'll see how that runs. Now for the fun bit of reassembling the locomotive. I have the wheels and axle boxes already temporarily assembled here. Well, the axle boxes are temporarily assembled here. The wheels obviously are fully assembled. What I've got the 1R on this side, and I've got 1R on the bottom of the axle box here. You can just about see it there. So that means it goes in this way, and this chain wheel is towards that end. So let's see how this goes. I've painted the wheels so they won't go rusty. Okay, I've wiped down there's cheeks on the horns here. Got any crap off them, both on the inside and on the outside. And now what I need to do is put a little bit of grease on the bottom here to give them a start. Like that. So a little bit of grease on the bottom here. Got to do it on the other side, so I'm going to have to delatch from the camera for a moment. Here's the trick. I have to get the axle box slides into the horn cheeks, almost both at the same time. What I've done, I've loosened off the ends of the axle boxes here, so they slide in, up and down on the wheel. I'm going to lift this up. Get the first one in, chuck it up with a piece of wood. It goes across almost. Now I'm going to go round to the other side. Get the axle box into the cheek. It seems to have worked. I'll put a spring on top of this one, and then I'll offer it further in. Get the spring onto there. I think I'll just, I won't put the packing piece in, I'll put the nut on just to retain this. You can see now what I've done is I've packed the wheel up with bits of wood here, so it's retaining the spring. I've got one clip on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take out one of the blocking pieces here and just lower it down so the springs compress a little bit. I've done the same chocking on the other side. Just hope the thing doesn't collapse on me. Hope everything's good and solid. I forget how extended these springs are. It's come down a little bit. So I can get the piece on here, get this a little bit more on here. I didn't find that nut that ended up on the floor somewhere in amongst the gravel. Now I'll make some final adjustments to these retainers, these axle box keeps, once I've got it down on the rails. So I'll go around and do the other side. This one's on, do the back one, and we'll take it out for a run. And that almost ended in near disaster. Watch the next installment to find out what happened.